Hello and welcome to the show. Today we'll be interviewing Dave Peltzer. He will be talking to us about his painful childhood and how he survived being abused. So Dave, welcome to the show. Tell us about your mother and how she was before she started abusing you.
Well, she was perfect. She always made sure everything was clean and that my brothers and I were happy. She cleaned, cooked, and looked after us all the time.
So she was perfectly normal? No signs of abusing you?
Nope, she was always cheery, and I never thought anything would happen.
So when exactly did this all start then?
Well, it started when I was 4 years old. My mom started yelling, and called me bad boy, and would yell at me. The first, she just disciplined me, then she started punishing me.
Wow. How did you feel about it? Were you upset? Confused? How was it?
I was upset. As she started punishing me, it got worse. I started hating her more and more. But what made it even worse were my brothers ignoring me. They would just watch my mother beat me and say nothing about it. It hurt bad.
And where was your father at this time? Was he working all the time? Was he not present in the household? Where was he?
He was a firefighter and was always at work.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I saw him, he told me we would leave the crazy house. But it never happened. It was the worst feeling. I started hating him too.
Wow. It must have been terrible. But if you don't mind me asking, what were some of the worst things your mother had ever done to you?
I remember one time coming home from school and my mother was in the kitchen. She had me hold my arm above the flame of the stove. It was terrifying. Then she tried to get me to sit on the top of the stove. I yelled and screamed until she finally gave up.
Oh my gosh. So she literally took your arm and held it above the flame on the stove?
Yes.
What did you do about it? What thoughts went through your mind when she was trying to do this to you?
I did not want to give in to her. I did not want to cry and let her be satisfied.
Wow, that must have been the worst experience ever.
Well, it was frightening, but the worst was when my mom would make me go and sit in the bathroom for over an hour with a bucket full of mixture of ammonia and Clorox. The fumes were terrible and made me choke every time.
Ammonia and Clorox, that's poisoning. Wow. Were there ever times when your mother did something so terrible that she tried to act nice to make you feel better?
Once she told me that I had only a certain amount of times to do my chores, and if I didn't do it, I wouldn't be able to eat.
Mm-hmm.
I did not finish in time, and she was so drunk that she stabbed me. Immediately after that, she took me to the bathroom and bandaged it up. The next day, she let me play with my brothers. After that, it was all back to abuse.
She stabbed you. I couldn't imagine. I would feel so guilty for that. It's terrible. Well, we don't have much more time left, but I have a few more questions. You mentioned something about your father. What was he like?
He was a firefighter, so he was not always home. When he was loving and caring. We always talked and had a great time. When my mom started abusing me, she made him drink. They would get drunk and fight. I always felt it was my fault. He told me not to worry about it, and one day the two of us would leave. That day never came.
What do you mean when you said that day never came?
My dad said he would leave my mother and take me with him. But as they started fighting more and more, he and I became more distant. He would not come home, and when he did, he and my mom fought. One day he decided to leave without me.
That's terrible. Well, that's all we have time for today. And before we leave, I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming and sharing your inspiring story, and I hope we get to talk again soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone in the audience today, and you will be getting a free copy of Dave's first book called A Child Called It. Thank you and have a nice day.